Hello everyone, I'm Hillary with Dominion Tea, and today we're going to talk about mulling spices. So a little bit of a history lesson. This comes out of the Greek and Roman period. It was a way to preserve wine that was going bad. Keep in mind, wine fermentation, totally different process way back when. So they absolutely every year had a certain crop that was not going to quite make it through, and they definitely didn't store it in a way we do now. And so what they would do is they'd heat up the wine, they would add honey to it, and spices, and that is where the mulling spiced and mulled wine really originates from. And of course it traveled through Europe as the Roman Empire adopted from the Greeks and went expanding, and you'll find all sorts of recipes and spice combinations. So we had fun doing our own, and of course I'm going to incorporate tea into this, so we'll talk about that here in a second. So mulling spices, really you're going to try to gauge it to a bottle of wine, but guess what, you don't have to do it with wine. You can actually also substitute in rooibos, but there's a couple of key things that are going to be your friend. If you're doing mulled wine for a party, the crock pot. This thing is fabulous because what you will do is you'll put in the wine, you'll put it in your mulling spices. We happen to have sized ours to fit perfectly to a single bottle of wine. You can let it heat up. I would highly recommend you taste it first before you decide whether or not to stick honey in it. A lot of the recipes tell you to go ahead and dump in sugar. Be careful, because if the sugar content of your wine is already high, you may not like the outcome of that. With rooibos, you can absolutely add the sugar, but the fun part about the rooibos, you're going to want to steep this and brew this like you would a regular cup of tea, then add it to the crock pot, and then put in the pouch of the mulling spices and let it sit. So why rooibos? Rooibos isn't going to release tannic acid. It doesn't have it. So you can leave it warm for hours and not worry about oxidation or a bitterness showing up that you would otherwise have if you tried to do this with black tea. So if you need an alcohol-free one, head towards rooibos. If you're good with red wine, the one caveat I would tell you, yes, the Greeks and the Romans used bad wine and hid the badness with the spices. Don't do that. Find a good bottle of red wine that you like and then add the mulling spices to it. You'll have a much better experience. And so keep exploring. If you enjoyed learning more about tea with us, hit the subscribe button so that you can be notified when we add more videos to our channel. And check out the highlighted videos to learn even more about tea. And last but not least, you can check out all of the teas we talk about in our videos at dominiontea.com.